Good afternoon, Keith Tebow with you today. There's a big event that's happening this Saturday, May the 15th. It's something that, a lot of people say it's been a long time coming. Well, it's coming. It's going to be the dedication of the replica Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall at Bicentennial Park in Fall River. And there's a big event scheduled. And I'm pleased to be joined by some of the organizers of not only the event, but getting the wall here in Fall River. City Councilor Linda Pereira and Joe Marshall. You may know Joe Marshall, a Vietnam veteran himself, who chaired the committee to get the wall here in Fall River. Thank you for joining me. How are both of you today?
Well, I'm fine. Thanks for inviting me, Keith. Thank you.
I appreciate it. So Joe, let me actually start with you. We've talked a couple of times over the past year plus about the progress of the wall. Well, the wall is complete, and we're ready to celebrate it for the entire community and the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Just kind of refresh people's memories about, how the wall got to be here in Fall River and specifically Bicentennial Park.
Yeah, well, to be specific, Keith, we've been talking about this for almost 4 years. It's October of 17 is when Ray Haig received this letter from a company that manufactures the traveling wall that's been in existence for about 10 years throughout the United States. And they were going to expand and do permanent walls, a 50% replica and a 80% replica. And there were three 80% replicas in the United States before we got started. And, they were in Utah, Kentucky, and I forget where the other one was. Oklahoma. So those three were already existing. So Ray Haig, our Veterans Service Office, put together a small group. We've grown to be 16 members, but it was a smaller group at the beginning as we needed additional expertise. And we put the group together. We met at my office back in October. And I do recall leaving the room. And then when I came back in, they told me I was named chairman of this committee. So that's pretty much how I got involved. I mean, I was on the committee, but had no way of knowing this is how it was going to go. So that's how we got started. And then the rest is getting an architect and fundraising and getting people. I got to tell you, and I've been on a lot of committees, as Linda has, and I got to tell you, it's probably the best working committee that I have ever been on, because everybody has something to do. There's little or no conflicts. Yet it took us 4 years, but we got to throw COVID into that and a few other things that just couldn't happen. So we got started with a letter from AVVT, who produces the traveling wall, and we are going to be now the fourth permanent wall, and it's going to be located here in New England. No one can build another wall in Rhode Island or Massachusetts, and 50 miles from our site. So whether it goes toward New Hampshire or whatever, but Rhode Island and Mass will be the only one that will exist. And it all seemed to come together because there's not a better place for that wall than at Bicentennial Park, because our very first thing we had to look for is some place that could house a 360-foot long wall and one that's 8 feet high. And Bicentennial Park, with its other monuments of fallen veterans down there, was an ideal location. And it just seems to finish off the park. And you'll see it at the dedication. I mean, I never thought we could do something as beautiful as we did.
Yeah, let me ask you, Joe, in terms of a follow-up, being a Vietnam War veteran, and I'm sure you know many names that are on that wall who gave the ultimate sacrifice, did not make it back home. How impactful is it for you to see that here in your hometown, to represent, not only Massachusetts, but to also be that living memory of all those who served during that conflict here in our region?
there's different veterans are different. I mean, they're not all the same. There are those that wear being a veteran on their sleeve everywhere. They're at every event. They do it, and they do it for the right reasons. It's almost their identity. And then there's the other ones that are veterans but don't really talk about it. And I kind of fall in that category. I mean, people know I am, but it doesn't. I'm that veteran. We just don't talk about it. And I have a lot of friends like that. Well, I got to tell you, as a result of getting involved in this event, this project, it brought back memories. And when I mean memories, it's not just memory, it's smells, sights, hearing, sounds. It kind of brought me closer to probably where a lot of those veterans that wear it on their sleeve are today. So there really are two different types in our community. But you spend enough time with a veteran and you are a veteran, it'll come out. And that's what it did for me anyway.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the dedication ceremony that's going to be happening this Saturday, beginning at 12 noon. Linda, you're the big organizer, one of the big organizers behind the event, the day coming up on Saturday. What can people expect to see at this dedication?
A phenomenal dedication, a phenomenal ceremony. We had sent out invitations because of the restrictions of COVID. We're kind of nervous about that. But it is a public park. We cannot stop anyone from coming to a public park. And I do want to thank you, Keith, and Rini Kochman and Floriano, who are doing all of the video, that it will be live on Channel 9, Channel 18, Channel 95. It'll also be on FRG TV and FRG Media Facebook pages. So I think for those who can't get down there, please feel free to watch it on TV. It will be a great ceremony. We have an a cappella group that will be coming to sing the national anthem. We have honor guards. We have a great cast of speakers. The Lieutenant Governor is coming. We have General Richard Neal, who is flying in from Washington, and will be brought to Fall River via Logan Airport. He's so excited to be here. And he was a general during the Vietnam War. We also have Morton Dean, who was a journalist. Those are our keynote and guest speaker.
Hey, Linda, can you mention, some people may not know Morton Dean. I think that's important because you got him to come. Could you kind of give a background on him?
I know who he is.
But you will, but not a lot of,
right.
Maybe
Morton Dubinsky.
There you go.
He was born on New Boston Road. His uncles had pharmacies here in the city, a graduate of Durfee High School. And he also did a wonderful documentary. He spent 6 months in Vietnam with the helicopter. They call them dust-off pilots. And they would go out and get injured individuals and bring them, into medical facilities. And then years later, he went and rounded up some of these injured veterans, and they got to meet the pilots. He's got a nice show on YouTube that he talked about it. I just met with him like 10 minutes ago. I met with him at the wall. He brought some pins that are only for people who served in Vietnam. And he got us a whole bunch of, we love our veterans. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I served. I'm a family member of a Vietnam veteran. So he said, he had connections to get all this stuff. So the trunk of my car is loaded with this that he brought us.
That's nice.
It's interesting because in talking to Joe, when you were talking to Joe about the different feelings that veterans have, when we had done the placement of the first panel, we had one member of each branch of service. And one of the gentlemen called me 2 days before and said, I can't do it. I can't carry that flag.
Yeah.
It just brings up too much for me. And, you know, I also spoke with a woman who does counseling with some veterans, and we do have, you know, we have an ambulance on site, we have masks, we have hand sanitizer. But I think that we need to be sensitive to individuals who, seeing all of the names on that wall, knowing one of your buddies that is on the wall. I mean, Mr. Dean was telling me that he was in Vietnam talking to this kid by the name of Joe Brown. And he said, okay, I'll meet you here tomorrow. And Joe's Brown's cousin was a cameraman for some news station, Skip Brown. He said the next day a body bag came in. And he said, oh, can I see the dog tag? And he said it was Joe Brown. So like, you never knew, you know, you just don't know. You know, every single name on that wall has a story. One of them was a teacher that brought a bunch of kids down to Washington, and it was high school kids, and they're just kind of laying around there, not really paying attention. And the teacher said, you see this name here that I pointed to? This kid went to the same high school that you're in. He never had a friend. He was overweight, a little awkward. Nobody really bothered. You know why his name is on this wall? Because when they threw a hand grenade to his platoon, he laid on top of the hand grenade and died.
Yeah.
But he saved everybody there. Every single name has a story.
Yeah.
Of what happened to that person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a healing wall for many people.
Yeah,
Right, absolutely.
It's real. People have to understand it's real people on the wall. It's not just a name. One of the things I've learned a lot over the last 4 years, of the 58,320 names on there, almost 40,000 of them were just 22 years old or younger.
Yeah.
40,000 of 58,000 were under 22 years old.
Yeah. In the prime of their life, right? In many ways. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you,
it's go.
I'm so proud to be from Fall River, because in Fall River, we really recognize our veterans and our veterans groups. We really do. And that just makes me so proud of the community I live in.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be a showcase for, you know, generations, hopefully, right, moving forward. That it's a remembrance, but it's also a celebration of those who gave their ultimate lives, obviously, but also those who, you know, serve there and will, you know, hopefully get some healing through it. And I'm sure there are a number of people, both of you may know, that may have not been able to see the wall in Washington, D.C. So this is their chance.
True.
Right, to get that experience here. So again, this Saturday, 12 p.m., you can watch the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall here in Fall River on FRG TV and FRC Media's Facebook page, as well as channels 9, 18, and 95 on local cable. So, and then you can have the opportunity to see it on your own.
The only chance we're going to have, the only chance are Gold Star families, and veterans. So
okay, that's good to know.
Bring a chair.
Yeah.
All right.
Or watch it on TV in the comfort of your home.
Absolutely. Councilor Pereira and Joe Marshall, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. We'll see you on Saturday. Have a great time.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us today here at FRC Media. Have a great day.